I don't know, this I had the time of my life reading these. It was so good. I loved it. Was not a fan of it, so. Hello everyone, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in May. And honestly, I thought this month was going to be a pretty bad month. The start of the month, I was not feeling it. I could not get into any books. I was thinking that I wasn't really going to read anything this month. So I didn't really have any high hopes at the start of the month because I think already like 2 weeks into it, I was only like maybe like a book and a half in. But I managed to read 11 books, 9 of them being mangas. I'm going to share all of my thoughts with you guys on what I think has been the best reading month for me of the year so far. As some of you know, I watched the anime Fruits Basket in April and I decided that I was missing the universe, so I read the manga Fruits Basket Another. There's 4 volumes. I only read the first 3. I was going into this with low expectations, knowing that nothing can top the original, that Fruits Basket is always going to be superior. And even though I went into this with very low expectations, I was still disappointed. Okay, so the first volume I rated 3 stars, the second volume I rated 3 stars, and the third volume I rated 2.5 stars. I didn't even attempt reading the 4th volume. I bought it on my Kindle, so I'm probably gonna read it eventually. I just don't know when. For the first volume, it was okay. I didn't really get to see a glimpse of the story. I had no idea where they were going with this, but it was nice to get a glimpse of the next generation and the kids and kind of see like, this is so-and-so's kid. That was something that I enjoyed, but I felt like the way they were introducing everyone was super confusing. Like, it was like all of a sudden you were introduced to like a million characters at once that I could not keep up. They don't blatantly say, this is Yuki's kid, this is Kyo's kid, so you kind of have to figure it out on your own. I gave it 3 stars just because I like getting a glimpse of like their kids, but I didn't really understand the storyline. Then volume 2, I wasn't going to give this 3 stars originally. I was gonna give this like a 1.5 or 2 stars because it was giving very carbon copy. I knew I wasn't gonna be something that was like the original, so why did they give us something that is basically ripping off the entire storyline of the original? It was similar to the first volume in terms of everyone was being introduced all at once, and that was confusing. And then the main girl I think is supposed to be like Toru, but honestly she is not as likable as Toru, so I didn't want to read this intending to compare it to the original because I knew nothing can beat it. But the things that were happening, it was like you can't not compare it to the original. But the thing that saved this was the bonus chapter. We got to see Yuki as a dad. That bonus chapter made my entire soul. I needed it. I needed that. And that was honestly the saving grace of that entire volume. Then volume 3, I gave 2.5 stars. I'm interested in the characters because I love the Soma so much, but there is no storyline. Like, I do not see where this is going whatsoever. We get introduced to them, we get hints as to who their parents are, and then it stops right there. I wish we got more because I feel like this new generation has a lot of potential, but it was just a carbon copy of the original. It was just kind of boring. It was very bland and super random. Like, I felt like a lot of the things that happened had no real meaning to it. Plot was just like all over the place and I was not a fan of it. That's why I didn't read the 4th one after finishing the 3rd volume. Then after Fruits Basket Another, I picked up Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but I DNF'd it at like 70%. It was not for me. Book Lovers is about a girl named Nora. She is an agent for writers. Basically, she sees this editor Charlie and he's known to make books really big, and she had this encounter with him and they kind of got off on the wrong foot. Years later, she goes on a trip with her sister to this small town, spend some time together, and Charlie turns out to be there. I just DNF'd it because I personally could not connect with the characters whatsoever. Because I couldn't connect with them, I did not care for the story. I could care less if Charlie and Nora would have gotten together. I just thought the story was kind of bland and I didn't care about their relationship. I didn't care about the plot. For some reason with Emily Henry and her books, I cannot grow an attachment to her characters. I just think I'm not an Emily Henry kind of gal, but I think these books are popular for a reason. So if it's something that's on your TBR, I still suggest that you try it out and see for yourself if this book is for you. But for me personally, I just can't connect with the characters. It's not exciting enough for me. I just couldn't do it. But if you read it, let me know what you thought, because a lot of people who said that they liked it said that this is for the older sister, which is what made me want to read it. I'm the oldest sibling, so I wanted to read it and connect to that. So I thought that was really interesting. So if you were thinking of reading it and you're the older sister, you might enjoy it. After my first 4 reads, a 3 star, 2.5, and then a 1 star, you can see why I thought this was going to be the worst reading month of my life. But that all changed when I picked up Maidsama. So after Book Lovers, I immediately read the first 12 volumes of Maidsama. I only have the first 8 in physical copies, 9 through 18. I bought on my Kindle. These were freaking amazing. I was obsessed. I couldn't put these down. So I have the volumes that are 2 and 1. Volumes 1 and 2 I gave 4 stars. 3 and 4 I gave 4.5 stars. 5 and 6 I gave 5 stars. 7 and 8 I gave 4.5 stars. 9 and 10 I gave 5 stars. And then 11 and 12 I gave 4 stars. These were so amazing. I love them. Again, for those of you who know, I watched the anime Maidsama. I started it at the end of April and finished at the beginning of May. I was obsessed with it. I loved it. And then I was like, I have to read the manga. This was just so good. I have a reading vlog coming up on me reading all 18 volumes. Be on the lookout for that because I'm super excited to just kind of have that documented for myself because I had the time of my life reading these. It was so good. I loved it. But just kind of the series as a whole, we follow Misaki and she is the student council president at Seika High. Seika High used to be an all-boys school. There aren't a lot of girls there and she takes herself very seriously. She puts herself on a really high pedestal. A lot of people call her the demon president. All the girls like her, but it's mainly the guys who have a problem with her because she's kind of mean to boys because she hates all men and she's super strict. She's very smart, very athletic. She can pretty much do anything and everything. However, she has a secret. She works at a maid cafe and she doesn't want anyone knowing because she thinks it's going to hurt her image as student council president, but someone finds out about her secret and that is Usui Takumi. And Usui is pretty much like this perfect boy. He is smart and athletic and every girl has a crush on him. Every guy wants to be him and he's the only one who could pretty much beat Misa at anything. He's perfect all around. So they're rivals to lovers and it's one of those things where he is a very flirty boy towards her and only her. Everyone else he's very short, very like, don't talk to me, I'm gonna ignore you. He only has eyes for Misa and she is the annoyed girl, like get away from me, I hate you type. That makes amazing banter. So volumes 1 through 12 were just so amazing. A lot of banter, a lot of, you know, really cute moments. I was literally squealing and screaming, kicking my feet in the air reading this. I just felt like this was so entertaining. This was exactly what I needed and I'm so glad I read it. It was also really interesting to see where a lot of the scenes in the anime got adapted from. Like some of the things were really out of order, some of the things, the scenes were changed a little bit. So I thought that was really interesting to see where the adaptation came from. There's just something about Misa and Usui where I just have this strong special attachment to them. Like I'm obsessed with them. I love them. Out of these volumes that I read in May, my favorite was volumes 9 and 10. That one was superior. But overall, I feel like in these volumes, you see a lot of growth. You see the relationship progress. You just really fall in love with Misa and Usui's relationship and you just want to root for them and see them together. Then to finish off the month, I reread for what I want to say is the like millionth time The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I buddy read this with my bestie Carly. I'm posting a reading vlog on rereading the whole series before the show comes out, so be on the lookout for that video as well. I really enjoyed my reread. This was actually the first time where I annotated this copy. Like I've had this copy since 8th grade. See my little annotations? Honestly, rereading this just gets more and more comforting. I literally love this series so much. I will never stop recommending this. For those of you who haven't read the series, it's about a girl named Isabel. She goes by Belly. Her and her family, they go to Cousins Beach every summer with her mom's best friend. Her mom's best friend has 2 boys, Jeremiah and Conrad. I think one big summer love triangle. So she has always been in love with Conrad. He's the older one of the 2. He's perfect, he's athletic, he's smart, and Jeremiah is 2 years younger than Conrad, I believe, and he is the one who has always been very sweet to Belly. He's always been Belly's friend, always including her. This summer, Belly kind of blossoms and she blooms and becomes pretty and the boys start to notice her. That's where the drama unfolds. This was just such a fun book. At the time I read this, I was about 13-14 years old, and this is like every teenage girl's dream summer. Who would not want to go to a beach house every year and have 2 really cute boys fight over her? That was like my 8th grade self's dream summer. And I really think when reading this book, you just get transported into this universe. I feel like I'm at Cousins Beach. I want to be at the beach house and it's just so much fun, and I'm so excited for the TV show coming out. I can't wait. Literally 13-year-old me is screaming, can't believe that this is happening. Such a fun time rereading this. It was definitely a great way to end off my month. I definitely read a lot more manga than I did romance books, but I think from now on I'm going to have like an equal mix of the two. I think the end of the month I ended so strong and it made one of the best reading months ever for me. And that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about the books that I read in May. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.